Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, a couple of days ago, I read this article in the Griot about an African American politician in South Carolina. This brother, his name is Wendell Gilyard. This brother has been opposing these Confederate symbols in his state of South Carolina. He's been calling for the removal of those statues. And that's very controversial in a place like South Carolina. South Carolina is the heart of the Confederacy. You know, they have a long history of racism that continues today. It was only recently that they decided to remove the Confederate flag from their state grounds. A symbol of slavery, a symbol of racism, a symbol of oppression, a symbol of treason. It's only relatively recently that they had to take that down, that they finally decided to do the right thing after years of protest, after years of boycott. It took the lives of 9 innocent African-American people killed in the church for that state to finally do the right thing and take down that symbol of hatred. So that's the kind of state that we're talking about, a state that has a long history of racism against black people. So this brother's been calling for the removal of these statues and symbols and stuff like that. So in light of that environment that I told you about, it's obvious that that brother was going to face some hostility. You know, these people have threatened this brother's life. They have threatened to come to this brother's home at 3 a.m. with a group of people. And I'm sure they weren't talking about coming there to give him some greeting card or anything like that. They were basically threatening this brother's life, the life of his family and everything. You know, they called this brother a nigger. They told him that if he doesn't like the Confederate flag and those Confederate statues, then he needs to go back to Africa. So let's talk about this. First of all, the black man is not going back anywhere. This is our land just as much as it is anybody else's. Our sweat, blood, and tears are in the soil of this country. We built this country, and we ain't going nowhere. Because of our fight, people have civil rights in this country. So the black man, woman, and child, we're not leaving anytime soon. But while we're here, we're going to demand full and equal rights. We're going to demand to be treated like any other human being. We're going to demand justice. And there's nothing that you white racist bastards can do to stop that justified demand. So get that straight. You know, these people want to act like this is just their country. I mean, these are descendants of conquerors. These people came here and committed genocide against the native people, stole the native people's land, and then they want to turn around and act like it's their land. It's like somebody breaking in your car and stealing your car and then acting like it's their car, or it's breaking in your home and stealing your possessions and acting like your possessions are their possessions and your home is their home. That's the mentality of this white man. He is not indigenous to this country, so he isn't more entitled to be here than any other group of people. So that's one thing, man. And I think that we need to protect this brother. The black community needs to rally around this brother, protect him, and protect all of our leaders in our community. I mean, too often we sit back and watch those who have courage get killed by our enemy. Get killed, man. You know, people sat back and watched brother Martin Luther King get gunned down, and all they could do was point their fingers at where the shot came from. The brother Malcolm X got gunned down in front of an audience of people. Nobody was there to save that brother's life. The brother Medgar Evers walking in front of his house, gunned down. Nobody protected that brother. We got to protect our own, man. We have to protect those who have the courage to speak out. We have to demand that this government that's supposed to be about law and order, that it actually be about that and protect these people who have the courage to speak out. Because if they don't protect them, then we have to be the ones to protect them. You know, later for the days of black people getting killed by these racists and these police and all that kind of stuff without any kind of response. Later for that, man. And, you know, people often have said, well, these Confederate symbols are not racist. this is about heritage, not hate, and all that kind of stuff. Well, explain this to me. Why are the races the ones using these Confederate symbols as some kind of rallying cry for their movement if it's not a symbol of hate? Why is it that these hate groups use that Confederate flag when they go on their demonstrations? Why is that? Why is it that Dylann Roof had all those Confederate symbols in all those photographs that he took before he went on that killing spree if it's not a symbol of hatred? If it's not a symbol of hatred, why do the hate groups react with such violence and rage when people talk about removing those symbols, if it's not a hate symbol? And the fact that these people threatened this brother, the fact that these people called him a nigger and told him to go back to Africa, that proves our point about that Confederate flag and those Confederate symbols being symbols of hatred, being symbols of racism, symbols that do not belong in today's society, symbols that don't belong in a society that's supposed to be about promoting democracy and tolerance and understanding among all people. So those are my thoughts. Tell me what you think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.